So, if you have seen the previous video, I was going to put a 328 in a treadle, and one of my neighbors on the other side of the ridge, 3 miles away, 30 miles of driving, not quite 30, probably more like 20 miles of driving, had this in Craigslist for $1, which means he really just wanted an offer, so I offered him 30. And so this is how it was. If you notice, there's a sewing machine you can see, and this was a sign that the person, oh, this is how the ad was in the Craigslist. And this is a sign the person didn't know how to work it. So I went and offered him 30, took it, and brought it home to evaluate and figure out what it was, because I didn't really know what I had here until I got it home and took a closer look. And of course, I've seen this type of thing before. This is a Singer 328 inside of a Sears and Roebuck sewing table. And if you notice, it has this weird thing here, hinges. It's not secured with lugs like a normally. It's screwed into this piece of wood there. And so I did evaluate it. I was like, maybe this will be a better one to put in the treadle than the one I got. But I decided against that. I actually have yet another 328. I call it the Battleship Olive. But I think Singer made it in like a military sort of subdued color, is a way of trying to entice the military environment. And actually, all the ones I've seen seem to come from areas where there are military bases. But anyway, get back to this thing. So, basically, it's actual, well, here, first let me pull this up so you can see how Singer intended this to be. I got a sort of rigged system here to, so normally this would be down. You pull this down like that. See, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I hope so. And so this is a trick system. You got to work this and the machine at the same time at different points depending on what you're doing. Normally when it's folded up, it should be more like this. And if you, here, I got to pull this back up so I can show you something underneath. I made it difficult for myself. I'm not thinking ahead. Alright, here we go. Let's see what I need to do. Alright. There we go. So, if you look down there, what's it right here? Here we go. Let's see. There's this thing right here, which is supposed to hit the back panel here so as to push the machine a little higher so it doesn't show as much when it's folded up. You have to have this adjusted right, and you adjust it. Here, let me stabilize this camera a minute. What am I doing now? Yeah, you adjust it so that when it's folded up, here, let's take it back down here. that the top of the machine will allow, hold on a second, I'm not putting this away exactly right, just so I can show you how this is supposed to lay. With this thing, get that machine as close to the top here without pushing it up, so you can fold it up all nice. And pulling it up to be, so when you do that, this is how it looks. Not quite as bad, but you can still see it under there. And that was one of the downfalls of this setup. But this table was cheaper than a normal Singer. Let me show you how to put it together normally, or how to pull it up normally, how it's supposed to look when it's done. Done right. Let me see. Can make sure I know how to do it right here. Alright. Alright. It's a tricky situation. Alright, there we go. And then this is actually supposed to stay down in there. Well, I had to pull it up this way for demonstration purposes. This wire. And then this thing fits on top. There. And so then the whole thing sits flush with the table. So, I was thinking, all right, well, the best thing for this machine would actually be if there's a treadle to put in it. Because it still has the, even though it doesn't use it, it still has the normal lug holes. Hinge pin lug holes, or whatever you want to call them, are still functional. And obviously, or it could go in a normal Singer table for the same reason. Or we got the option of leaving it in this table, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But the idea of putting this machine into a portability mode has been ruined without major modification. Because what happened was they put the Singer into a Sears table, and they drilled out the bed cushion feet screw holes to accommodate larger bolts that could support hanging the machine from that thing from. And so you'd say, well, that's a hack. But you know what? It is an Americana thing, because what happened is there was a wave of people doing this. Back, I would say it's the late 60s or 70s, early 70s, where there was a template that would show you how to drill those holes into that wood exactly right. And when I was messing with this machine, I noticed it didn't seem like the screw holes are square, but when it's all in its elaborate condition of being where it's supposed to be, it's perfect. So I don't understand that, because the screw holes on the machine are square. I don't really get it, but it's weird how it worked out. So this template, I think, as I recall, Sears had hand those out for free, even if you already had the Sears table. They would go ahead and hand you the template to drill out the holes for free. So that makes this option, it sort of is a historical thing of Americana. And this is the second time I've seen this operation done. The first being when I was a kid, and then I just ran into this one. So I'm not sure exactly how I'll dispose of this machine, but I also have this treadle one I'm going to do. The treadle one is so nice, I want to keep it. But at the same time, I really don't rate a sewing machine like that. I've already got so many, and my main machines I'm happy with. The treadle machine is just like, oh man, I should give it, well, I should sell it or something to somebody that could get, but I haven't really decided. But this one is definitely going out one way or the other. And so, yeah, I haven't really decided how it's going to get marketed. But I just wanted to tell you about the machine because of the story about how the templates are handed out. And like there was a little wave of people doing this to save money because the Singer sewing tables were probably twice the price as this one. All right, for the same thing. And this one does have a drawers. And, oh, I forgot to mention. So if you notice, here, hold on a second. I got to show you one more thing about this thing. Here, I'm going to pull this thing back out so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. By the way, this thing, when it's in its proper position, is hanging from, where is it? Where's my hand at? Oh, okay, here we go. It's hanging from these little shelves, little pin shelves, and plus, of course, the back hinges. So, where was I? Why did I want to take you? Oh, so when I got this, these things, these two pieces of wood were under here, and at first I just wanted to pull them out, and then I realized, shorten the screws. I was like, why do you need that? But you know what? Without these, when it's in its proper position, it would not sit up to the table level. So he had these in his spacers, these little wooden blocks here. So I didn't like that. So what I did was I made some different ones, same size, right there, right? And in the back too, there's I don't know if you can see it, but I got those in there just to make it a little nicer and less, and those screws go through this hole so it's not going to fall out. And also the other thing is, there was only 3 screw holes matching up. The 4th screw hole is not there, but I went ahead and made a 4th one of these in case someday there is a screw hole there. And then these is what came with it too. So yeah, that is this particular 328K.